So we'll have a reaction with an acid and a base, and that will create water and one other thing. Does anyone know what the other chemical will be?
Not too long ago, Dean Boss was a student at Elizabeth MacArthur High School in Sydney's West. Now, he's on the other side of the desk.
It is a salt. Yes, that's correct.
His former principal is now his boss.
What sort of a student was he?
He was, he and all his friends, some of them whom he works with now at school, were always lovely, lovely boys.
Let's look at the equal elements actually.
Young teachers like Dean Boss have helped solve one of the biggest problems at Elizabeth MacArthur High, a major staff shortage. The problem peaked 2 years ago when they were 35 short of a full cohort of around 120 staff.
It was extremely difficult, and we couldn't always guarantee we could put an adult in front of a class, and we had to do some quite extreme measures, including combining classes and taking out walls.
At many schools, the problems continue.
The widespread shortages have really hit post-COVID, and we're struggling to recover from that, both in terms of attracting new teachers into the profession, but just as importantly, struggling to retain the teachers that we have.
The Elizabeth MacArthur School is on track to have 0 vacancies next year, in part because it's been so successful at recruiting ex-students. 16 former students work at the school as support and administrative officers, while they are studying teaching at university.
The students that needed additional help really engaged with them well, because they were close to their age.
In an international survey published last year, 58% of Australian public school principals said they need more teachers. The problem is spread across the states. New South Wales is short around 962 teachers, down from 2,460 3 years ago. The Victorian Education Department is currently advertising 1,711 jobs. To get around the problem, schools employ workers who are not yet qualified teachers. In Victoria, 1,347 people have special permission to teach status to fill positions where registered teachers could not be found. Last year, Queensland granted 1,294 permission to teach authorities.
They haven't finished their qualifications yet, and in my school, we would that was the only way we were surviving. Each year we'd have 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 teachers out of 30 or 40 teachers on our staffing books.
Until last year, Chris Smith was a deputy principal at a central Queensland public school. He now works for the state's teachers union.
But more and more they are people who are in their 3rd year or their 2nd year of studying, and what they are having to do is study and teach and work at the same time, and that's hugely challenging for them.
We've stopped some gaps, I think, by focusing on supplies, so more teachers are going into teaching, but that raises its own issues in that we have now a very young and very inexperienced early career teaching workforce.
It can be such a challenging job that about 50% of younger teachers aren't sure whether they'll stay in the profession, and 30% plan to quit within 10 years. They cite problems like managing difficult students and excessive workload.
But also, our newer teachers talk about the lack of, they feel unprepared when they come into the classroom to deal particularly with the complexity and diversity of students that they have in their classrooms.
We're sending them into really complex kind of situations at the moment where workloads are high, morale is low, and the risk is that we will burn them out quickly and turnover will not be solved at all. So they'll stay a few years and move on then. So attrition will still be high.
Dean Boss survived the early years and thrived. Not everyone does.
It is a very challenging career. It's a lot of hours, a lot of work, but it's also incredibly rewarding. So it's just that balance, and it's not a career for everybody.
So you're going to be a science teacher?
Principal Kylie Hedger uses senior teachers as mentors to help the young staff.
The attrition rate for young teachers is pretty high. So if you can get them comfortable in the classroom and get their classroom management under control quickly, that gives them better efficacy in their classroom, which makes their job a lot easier and a lot more pleasant.
She tries to recruit the next generation of teachers from her current crop of students.
Live a life that makes a difference. Yeah. Live a life that leaves a legacy. Teach.
But it's a big workload, and you're not going to be billionaires.
No.
If you become teachers.
That's right, it's worth it.
She has one recruit locked in. 16-year-old Kayla Marchant plans to come back to Elizabeth MacArthur as soon as she graduates university. She says the school helped her with her own learning difficulties, and she wants to help others.
I have dyslexia, and I want to give people the opportunity to learn not just in a theoretical setting. I want them to learn practically and with their hands and how they can engage fully inside the class.
She doesn't think the workload will be an issue.
Going home and doing extra work, and I've seen all these teachers that are so passionate about it, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because if I'm passionate about what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to take that home with me.
50 years on, the principal still remembers her own kindergarten teacher, Miss Ibbotson.
You can be that for another whole generation of kids. Yeah. They can be that person that they remember their whole lives. I don't remember who installed my TV or who built my house or any of those things. I can't remember them. I remember Miss Ibbotson. Because teachers make a difference.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Be that in your life. That's better than the money.
Exactly. More teachers like